How is your fundraiser going this year? If it's anything less than amazing, it's time to talk to Shawn Murphy at FanPledge. No product to sell, nothing to deliver, and guaranteed results. Raise at least 10% more than your current donation based fundraiser, or it's free. Fun, fast, proven. Call Shawn at 903-948-7348. FanPledge. The champions are already on board. Are you? Band Yap is proudly sponsored by Troubadour Consultants. When it comes to planning group travel for your fine arts program, look no further than Troubadour Consultants. Whether you're organizing a major out of state trip or need top notch accommodations for the state marching contest, John Mize and his team are ready to create a custom travel experience that meets your band's unique needs. As a family owned, band director run company, Troubadour understands exactly what it takes to make your trip stress free and seamless. Plus, when you book a trip with Troubadour, they will sponsor a $500 college scholarship for a student in your band. Directors who book will also receive a free Mollard baton as a special thank you. Visit troubadourconsultants.com today to start planning your next trip with the experts who truly get it.
I thought that I had like a lot of tools like going into my first year of teaching, and I was like so overwhelmed with how much I didn't know. And like I knew there's gonna be like a lot of room to like learn and like a lot that I didn't know, but I didn't know like the magnitude and like the vastness of the unknown.
Hello and welcome back to Band Yap. My name is Alexa Sanchez.
And I'm Jose Sanchez.
And we have an all-star today. We have Kendall Santos. Hi, Kendall.
Hello.
Welcome to the Band Yap.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, Kendall, so let me go ahead and ask you this question right out the gate. For the listeners that don't know, she is the better half of a married powerhouse. She's married to Zach Santos. So why Zach? Like, why Zach? Right off the top.
When you had sent the questions and like Zach was asking what were the pre-sent questions, I read him that and he laughed and he's like, I knew that would be on there. Honestly, for a long time, I didn't want to date him. I wasn't interested like at all. Um, but as like the saying is, opposites attract. Like we're pretty opposite in most things. And somehow it kind of, it worked out. He is one of the most dedicated and like persistent and goal oriented person or people I know, and he just would not let up on trying to get me to hang out with him. And so I finally said yes. I will admit though, I initially was saying no a lot because my schedule was so busy. There was a little bit of interest, but like my schedule was just a lot busier than his was, and so I kept saying no, and then finally it worked out. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's been since 2019. We've been married 3 years now, 3.5 years. So
He wore you down. That's what that means. He wore you down.
He did ask me at TMEA because like it was TMEA of 2019. He's like, "Why are you single?" I was like, "I don't know." And then we just started hanging out.
That's
bold,
funny.
bold. I mean, we can relate because like I had to give Alexa kind of an ultimatum.
Mhm.
I told her, I go, I'm going to ask you out one more time, and then after that, I'm done asking you out.
And then I finally said yes.
There you go.
Well, it is what it is. So, Kendall, can you tell us about yourself, your background, education, teaching experience?
Yeah, so I grew up in the Flower Mound area, and I went to Flower Mound High School, but I went to it like way before it was the powerhouse it is now. Flower Mound was like a great musical program, but the marching band was like very much in its like developmental stages when I was in high school, which was like really cool to be a part of. And then I went to a lot of people don't know this. I actually started college at the University of Minnesota in Minneapolis, and I was a double major in music therapy and music education. And then after about 2.5 years, I transferred to UNT and finished my music ed program there. I marched at the Academy out of Arizona and at the Cadets for 4 years. And then once I graduated college, I got my job at Cedar Park, and I'm about to enter year 8.
Year 8. So you've been at Cedar Park. So when did Cedar Park start winning their state championships in marching band?
2001.
2001. That was their first one.
Yes.
So you were a huge, but I know that you are a huge component to that marching program along with the rest of the staff, because how many state titles have y'all won in a row now?
In a row, 6. Yes,
Cool.
6.
Do you have rings?
I do.
Okay. Do you ever just show up to Team EA? That's what you need to do, is just show up to Team EA with all your rings on at one day. Like all the Cedar Park or Leander people need to do that just as a huge flex.
Well, instead of putting the ribbons
Oh
on the badge,
gosh.
they should loop them on the lanyard. Just have like a lanyard of rings. I always bring up Bob when we talk about the ribbons because Bob has the longest rhythm, like I don't know what to call it, like trail
Yes.
of anyone I've ever seen. He
He's
has
like
so many
15,
ribbons, yeah.
15 deep.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, they sit on the shelf in our office, and that's where they stay.
That's really cool. I have one ring, and it's for concert band setting, and it sits in a drawer. So you went to the University of Minnesota, the Beavers? Yes.
Yeah, I think so. No, Gophers. Sorry, I was
Gophers.
like, that's right. Gophers.
Giant rodent.
Beaver sounded right.
I know, yeah. They have buck teeth, and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
what made you want to go up there?
So I'm an only child, and I wanted to get as far away from like my hometown as possible. So I pretty much went as far away as I could without leaving the country. So I went north, which was a mistake. I learned I hate the cold, or at least that much cold. It's pretty unbearable. Um, but I was also, like I said, I was really interested in music therapy and music education, and they had like the second best music therapy program in the country. And so I went in thinking I might lean more music therapy than music ed. And then just the longer I was in it, I thought it was really interesting, but I really loved teaching. And so I ended up dropping music therapy and I went full steam ahead to music ed. And then that's when I realized I should probably finish my degree here in Texas to be ready to teach in Texas.
So what drew you to the music therapy side of things?
I love psychology, and I love how the brain works, and like knowing why people make certain decisions or how certain decisions are created, or like different people's thought processes. And so that paired with music I thought was really fascinating. um and I love learning about like mental health, and the like mental health illnesses or diseases, and things like that, and that are in psychology. And I thought it was gonna be really fascinating because I love science, or that part of science, and I still do. I think it's like really interesting, but I just didn't see it as a career for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, have you ever seen those videos of the people with like dementia, and then they'll play music and like they come back? I mean, that's so empowering, and that tells you like the experiences that we are able to, facilitate for people, and how
Hmm.
much that is ingrained into like not just how we feel, but how we function as human beings. And part of what we do is, in a lot of ways, brainwashing children to continue in band.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool opportunity in that field, whether it's healing or just making somebody's day better, and like helping them have a better quality of life. It's just, and there's a lot of, kind of like teaching. There's a lot of different avenues or different populations that you can cater to or specialize in, and so there's a lot of like specialty certifications you can get to like work on, like I said, hospice care or NICU or end of life care, or people that are in rehab or in jail. There's so many different avenues to go through with music therapy.
One of my when Alexa and I got married, we went to the Bahamas on a Disney cruise, and one of the fun, or the most interesting experiences that I felt like we had these tickets that allowed us to a specialty like spa area. And in the spa area, they had like these showers that you had to wear your bathing suit in, but they had these showers that were set up, and they were like rainforest, Sahara, these kind of different types of showers, quote unquote. And when you would get into the shower, they would actually do like aromatherapy along with music therapy, and then they would change the temperature of the water. And I thought it was like something that was really interesting, because I was like, out of that trip, that's one of the things I remember the most.
That's very much like a tiki bar. Like tiki bars are like that. If you order a
Yeah.
certain drink, like they'll like, make sound effects or like they'll change the lighting or whatever.
We just went
Rainforest
to
Cafe. Yeah.
yeah, it's tiki bars are like Rainforest Cafe for adults because we just went to Tiki Tatsuya, and that was exactly what that was. Like the flashing
Mhm.
lights and like the rain, and yeah. We're just missing the animatronics.
Yep. So you went to
Yeah.
Flower Mound High School. Um, so what was your experience like at Flower Mound before you said it was completely established as the powerhouse that it is now?
Yeah, so I tell this story to my students every year because I have these wild, vivid nightmares as the marching director about the marching band like revolting on me. Like going into the first contest, like that's how my stress manifests itself. But it's because my freshman year, at like it's probably about halfway through, half of the upperclassmen just like went on strike and they stopped coming to rehearsal, um, because there was like a director change. I think this is why. This was my, assumption. I don't know what the actual reason was because I was a ninth grader and I was just along for the ride. I was just happy to be there. But they like the juniors and seniors just like stopped showing up for like 2 weeks or something, because the program was like going through a director change, and the marching band director at the time, my freshman year was his second year, Brent Biscup, who's now the head director there. Um, he wanted the marching band to be, more competitive and more serious, and so he ran it differently. And he's like a really sarcastic and really dry and like to the point kind of guy. He's really funny and like really nice, but like you're gonna be good and like you're gonna be great at what you do. And they just weren't ready for it and they didn't like it, so they just stopped showing up. And then we didn't like finish. I don't think we finished the show. Like I don't think we got like the drill to the end of it, or like we didn't get the music or something. I remember just like learning the last part of the show. And they're like, all right, well, you're gonna take a knee. We're doing a superhero show. You're gonna take a knee, and we're gonna play like an E flat major chord, and here's what you're all gonna play, and that's it. That's it, folks. So that was my freshman year. Um, and then the next 3 years, the group got more competitive, and I don't know if there was like a design staff change or what, on the adult side of the program. But by the time that my senior year rolled around, we had never gone to BOA, and we had that year we went to I think like BOA Dallas or Denton, whichever it was, and then we also went to BOA San Antonio, and we made ninth in finals, which was like incredible. Because we didn't even think we were gonna make finals because we'd never been, and it's a huge, huge contest, and so we were just so over the moon to make finals, and then we made ninth, and it was like a really big deal. So, um, and then the concert side of the program like was always super strong. Like it was always a great program. Rob Myers was my head director, and he is one of the funniest and kindest humans, and a beautiful conductor. But he was always great at teaching listening skills. He's a harmony director nerd. So the music side of the program always flourished, but the marching program definitely had a facelift during when I was there.
Well, and that tells you like sometimes like adjustments like that are hard for kids. I mean, things like that are hard for adults, but like for kids, it's even worse. Because I tell the story like when I first got to Gatesville, and even when I first got to Robinson, the kids absolutely hated me just for showing up and doing my job. It wasn't because I was trying to replace anyone or try to, it's just because like, hey, there was a job opening. I took the job, and that's the way it shook out. And making a switch, and we felt this recently, but feeling like going to switch into success into competitive is two different things.
Hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with that because you can. Chris gave like a whole clinic on this, and at TMEA that unfortunately wasn't able to see because I was out on maternity leave, but about measuring success in ways that are not just competitive success, and culture being a huge part of it. And one thing he told me when I got to Cedar Park was that culture takes 7 years to change. And at the time, I didn't really believe him. I was like, I'm sure it'll take maybe 3 years, maybe, right? Like you get the graduating class out, and he's like, no, it takes seven. And so now, having been at Cedar Park for 7 years, I've seen it. Like I've seen the shift, I've seen the change, and it's pretty insane.
Well, let me ask you this since you made that comment. Is there any point in time where you felt like the pressure from like the culture change or like the idea of like we have to keep being this competitive and this successful, both from a student perspective and as a director perspective?
Yeah, so as a student, my junior year, um, so probably most Texas high schools have like senior night, for a football game or something. And at Flower Mound, it used to be where senior night, when we would do the halftime show, the seniors would like screw up the show. They would like move during holds. They would, go to the wrong dot. They would do the wrong choreography. They'd play the wrong notes. Like they would just jack around. And so my junior year, Biscup pulled all the seniors in during, we used to have inspection. It was like our checkoffs. And he would pull in all the seniors and he's like, you guys get to make the choice today of the trajectory of the program. Like, do you want to keep going down this rabbit hole of, screwing around and like not being taken seriously and like not being excellent at what you do? Or do you want to set up your class and future classes for success and make the shift now and say like we're going to do it, we're going to have a great performance because this is what matters to us? And they did, which is really cool. Because that was a pretty big culture change, I feel like. But then also I think what was really cool, and like I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I mean I guess you can keep it in there. I think my senior year he started to throw away trophies that were, like, in the band hall. Like, he would just throw them away, because he's like, "I don't want it to be about the medal, I don't want it to be about the hardware that's, like, up in the band hall. I want it to be about the journey and the process and about the kids and the people that you're doing it with," and I thought that was really powerful. Um, and so then when I got to Cedar Park, um, both Evan and Chris told me it's a really competitive community and really competitive program, and the school as a whole is really competitive and competitively successful, and a lot of, if not pretty much everything that they do. And so that was really hard to kind of inherit and to like not be the one to screw it up and to like let it fall down as the new person, straight out of college, has no business being there. At least that's how I felt. And there's a lot of pressure, but I think that we've done a really great job of at least trying to shift the perspective of our kids to it being not about what the judges say and what seven people in green polos and terrible khakis, like, off of one 8-minute opinion, dictate the success of your season. Like that would be irresponsible. And I think that we've done a good job preaching that, and I've done a better job in most recent years practicing that. Because I would some years say it and I wouldn't practice it, and it was really obvious to the kids, and those seasons were hard. But last year in particular, I really tried to practice it as well as preach it, and I think that it showed in the kids and like how they enjoyed the season and enjoyed the show and their time together too.
So, and that's like we need to say that a little bit louder for the people in the back, probably a little bit more often, just because like what we do, honestly, we put so much pressure in the aspect that we depend on three or five or
Mhm.
seven people's opinions on our validation of what our program is doing. It's just like the same thing with like all region band. I see this post from people all the time on area audition days. All right, guys, band director validation day.
Yeah, I like one of your questions was about, was I the best musician in my class? And I was gonna say no. I worked really hard and I did all the things. Like I practiced every morning. I practiced every morning in a place where people would walk through so I could practice performing in front of people. But I just had really bad performance anxiety and I would crumble in the actual audition. But I would play in front of my whole class. I'd take any opportunity I could to go to master classes and to play in front of people, but it just like when it came down to the actual like moment in time of playing in front of the judges, I would seize up, and I never made it out of the region process. I never made it to area, never made it to all state, but it's like I almost feel like a fraud, like trying to get my kids to like all state because I was like, I'm trying to get you to something that I've never personally accomplished. But like I'm here to try, you know. But it's not about the result, like you said, of making area, making all state, making region band, making phase two, whatever. It's about going through the trials and tribulations of playing in front of people, getting nervous, and messing up and learning how to recover and things like that, how to take an audition.
And honestly, you not making all state has probably made you a better teacher in ways that you'll never know. And like I say that I was the best musician in my band because like I worked hard for it, but because of that there are certain blind spots I have, um specifically with intrinsic motivation. And like, why don't other people have the same type of motivation that I had? And that's like one of my Achilles heels, is like I don't understand that. That's something that's very difficult for me to understand. Like, why aren't you working harder?
I get that. Like, I feel I was talking to my student leaders about that, about how like I have a, especially like with my drum majors, I have a really clear vision of what certain things look like. And I just assume everyone has that same vision and that they all are like, oh, yeah, like I've now stepped into this role. Like I've now inherited all this information that's just been like passed down through like a sponge. And it's like, that's not how it works. Like you have to communicate those things and figure out what makes people, be motivated, or what makes people, unmotivated, and how do people respond to feedback and things like that.
Yeah. Which is like it's always different from every single person. And like, but that's also why we train our leadership teams the way that we train them, is because we want them to reach as many people in as many different ways as that we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let me ask you this question. Why band?
I actually, it took me a while to figure out that I wanted to do band. I thought that I might want to do psychology for a while, but I really loved playing my instrument, and I really loved, to be honest, I was in marching band and still am a marching band meathead. Like I love what the activity provides for a lot of kids and adults for that matter. Um, and I wanted to be able to give that experience to other people and to other students. And so I chose music and I chose band because I wanted to give the experience I was given, um, to my students, and be able to share that from a different perspective.
So did you have anybody like push you in the band direction? Your, fifth grade Kindle, and they said, hey, do band.
Honestly, no. I really wanted to. I like growing up, my mom had bought me this CD. I can't remember her name. I think it was like Charlotte something. I don't know. And she was like a flute player. Um, I don't even know if she was good. I have no idea. I can like see the cover of the CD, but she played flute, and it was like I my mom loved hearing the flute, and my mom was not in band. I think she was in choir in like maybe middle school. My dad was like a rebel without a cause, and he like played drum set, but like wasn't really into like any groups or clubs or anything in high school. But I actually grew up with a dance background, and so um I knew that you had to pick like a either choir or band for sixth grade, and so I picked band because I have no business singing. But I picked band because I really wanted to play an instrument, and I really wanted to play flute. And I did that in dance simultaneously up until high school, and then in high school I went full on band.
So we've heard that your parents are a little bit different in the aspect that I think you call them a little bit of hippies. Are they a little hippie-ish?
My dad is for sure. So my dad's from Boston. He grew up in like a really strict religious, like I think Catholic household, and he is not that. He is like probably more Buddhist than anything, if I had to guess. And my parents are older. Um, and so he was like drafted into Vietnam and stuff, which is where most of my friends like grandparents are drafted into Vietnam, but it was my dad instead. Um, but he like and he hated it. Like it was a whole thing. but like he tried to like either flee to Canada or like make sure that his weight was so low that he like wasn't healthy enough to be drafted. Um, but he's like super pacifistic. Like he like I could probably count on one hand the amount of times he ever raised his voice to me or my mom ever. Just super kind. He wears the same like denim uniform every day. And then my mom is from Long Island, New York, and she's Jewish, so she has a lot of opinions and is very outspoken. And they both met in California. So are they a little different and a little hippie? They're definitely different than the typical Dallas Bible Belt family. If that's kind of what you're getting at.
No, but that's great. I mean, it's well, that also tells you like when you are so hardcore One Direction,
Yeah.
there's like almost like a revolt in that way because you said it earlier, you are very type A, boom, 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 boom. And I feel like your parents probably had like rules and expectations, but it was also in a safe environment for you to discover things the way you wanted to discover.
Yeah, I was given I'm super thankful. I was given a lot of freedom to try and experiment with if I was interested in it, they were gonna give me an opportunity to go see if I liked it, or if I was gonna be good at it, or if I wanted to pursue it. Like I'm the worst at sports, like terrible. But I really wanted to do volleyball camp, and so they let me do volleyball camp, and I was probably the worst camper there, like the worst. I made C team on athletics. Like I'm shocked I even made a team. To be honest with you, my coach hated me for sure. Um, but they let me try, and so they let me do that with sports. Let me do that with band, with dance, with theater, anything that I want, drum corps, anything I wanted to try. They gave me an opportunity to do that.
It's interesting for you to say that you're not good at sports because, like, as far as I know, you are a pretty athletic person.
Yeah.
I excuse me. I love weightlifting, but do not ask me to do anything with hand-eye coordination because it's just I'm gonna make a fool of myself. It's not gonna work. And also, like with sports, I don't care enough about them to like learn the rules and like what you can and can't do, and like if I do this, then this gets me X amount of points, but I can't do this. Like my first football game as a band director, Chris had to sit me down. I had my notes app open because he was teaching me how to play football. So I knew how to call charts. Because all I knew was that if you scored a touchdown, you got 6 points. That's all I knew. And then you could get more points, but like I didn't know how and I didn't know how many. And I didn't know what a down was. I didn't know that you're trying to run the ball 10 yards. Like you have four chances to do that. Like I didn't know any of that. And so cause I just didn't care. Like I was like, tell me when to play Hey Baby and I'll play Hey Baby. Tell me when to play, ESPN and I'll play ESPN. And like I didn't realize that like there was certain times you played those because of certain things going on because I just did what I was told because I didn't care about the game, to be honest. Um, yeah, so I'm not like a sportsy person. I guess you could say, yes, I'm athletic because I love weightlifting, but I am not a sports person at all.
Yeah, well, just recently, didn't you just buy a new set of weights?
Yeah, so during like COVID, we got like our mix and match, like or mismatched like sets of weights, like 2 pounds here, 5 pounds here, 10 pounds there. Oh, here's 30 pounds for cheap on Fish Marketplace. And so I've been looking for a matching set just because like they look nicer, they look cleaner, and Zach was like in agreement, like get some, and so we just got some, and they're nice. And I'm super excited about them.
So, and like you, like when we've said that are type A, apparently you manage your meals like nobody's business.
That is true. Yes.
Okay, can you tell me what you do for your meal
I
situation?
feel like you're being outed by Zach Santos right now.
Well, okay. First of all, I've known this already because like we've had a lunch and like you can't. I watch Kendall analyze the menu and go like,
She's trying to count her macros. She knows what's up.
Yeah. So can you tell me like how strict are you in this process?
Well, how strict am I in practice versus like how strict am I in like what I want to be are two very different things. I'm working on that right now. But before getting pregnant, I was like super like every T was crossed, every I was dotted, like everything was accounted for. And then during pregnancy, and I did that for like probably about like an average of like 2 years. Um, and I got like my in my like fit era, you know. And then I got pregnant, and I was like, I'm gonna take a break. I'm just gonna eat what I want, you know, and just be smart about it, and like not go crazy, but just enjoy it, you know. Because first trimester, you just feel nauseous, and so I was like, bread. I'll eat bread and crackers. Great. If I can get some protein in, awesome. If I can't, you know, whatever. And then after Ryder was born, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get back on track. And so I have a coach that I've been using. I've been with her for a year, and she works with like a company. Um, I've been with that company for about a year and a half. And before that, I had another personal coach who kind of got me started on all this. But yeah, so they helped me figure out, you know, where am I at now? Where do I want to be with my fitness goals and my health and my strength? And in order to fuel my body so I can get the strength that I want, they break down like this is how much protein, this is how many carbs, this is how many fats you should be eating each day. And so I'm like my little like side hobby is like bodybuilding. Not to the point of like, you know, getting on stage a whole lot. I've done that once, and it was cool, and I don't know that I'll do it again. But the hobby of it, like the sport of it, if you will, it's like I think it's like really fascinating, like the science behind it all, and how food fuels your body and how you can use it to fuel your workouts to then get your workouts to work for you, and it's a whole thing.
So, do you use any of that methodology towards what you do in the band hall?
Like you mean like pre-planning or planning ahead?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I use my Sun in general, I use my Sundays to plan my meals. Like I'll preload them, if you will, or pre-track them, and then I'll go make my grocery list and go buy it and go make it. And then on Sundays also, like for the marching season at least, I will plan the whole week in like a macro plan, and then I'll lay out uh, kind of like what each day will look like. And then during the actual week, I will go in and micromanage each day, making sure it's like, you know, every minute's accounted for, and we're doing this. Here's the goal. If you check that goal off, here's the second goal you can dig into. So everybody knows kind of what's the plan for the week and what's the plan for each day.
They're like, I've never thought about all the similarities that are between like that type of lifestyle and what you do inside of music program, because I mean, you have to plan the food that's going to fuel the body the correct way. Well, hello, Martin, fundamentals.
It's
Like,
it's a discipline.
yeah, that's a lot of discipline.
Mhm.
And like, when it comes to food, I have almost no discipline, partially because Alexa's a fantastic cook. Um, but like, there's so many similarities. Do you have like a notebook that you keep track of everything in?
I use my Fitness Pal. It's an app that will track, like you can scan like the barcodes of stuff. Like for example, I'm really into this like protein chip right now by Legendary Foods. Big fan. Check it out. It's like popped. So it's like crunchy. But like you can scan the barcode, and it will take all like the macro information and put it into the app, and it'll tell you, okay, that has 20 grams of protein, 6 grams of fat, and you know, 10 carbs. And this is how much you have left for the day. And so it's kind of like a bank account. Like you make transactions throughout the day, and it tells you like what you have, how much money or how many grams you have left. So yeah.
I mean, if you take the same ideas and apply it to band, it is like that's like a fantastic outline for success. Kendall, I think I found your next Team EA proposal is that you need to
Oh
take
gosh.
your fitness by Kendall and apply it to band by Kendall. That's what you need to do. You need to have like similarities and exactly how they match up.
Body build your band.
Oh
Ooh.
my gosh. I love that.
Okay,
That's awesome.
I mean, that would be
Bodybuilder
great. I would
band.
go to that one.
Yeah.
I would go to that one. All right, guys, everyone bring up your own 5-pound weights. We're going to talk
Yeah.
about some squats and curls here. All right. And we're going to talk about how we're going to get your band better.
And also how to play long tones more efficiently. And
Yes. I'll
The interactive
call Dan
session.
Morrison and call Greg White as well to come join me.
I like that would be a pretty cool one because like there are so I used to be into fitness at one point in time, and then pre-children I had actually lost a whole bunch of weight, and then COVID happened.
You've always until we had kids, you were always like into weightlifting and had done. I'm outing you now.
Yeah.
You've done like strongman competitions.
Yeah,
and
there's
stuff like
there's a
that.
photo of me with the mohawk
Nice.
doing a strongman contest
back in the day.
Yeah. It was so long ago. Now my back hurts.
Yeah.
No, but that would be great. I would go to that
I
one.
know.
Not just because I want to support you, Kendall, but like that would be a great club.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people would resonate with that.
Yeah. All the band directors who are like, I got my band director weight. I have to tell like new teachers, I'm like, just wait until you know that freshman 15 will hit you hard and when you're in college, but band director 15 is a different type of weight.
Oh yeah, we had a student teacher last semester, and he was asking me. He was like, or it was spring 2024, and he was asking me, he's like, "How do you eat the same thing like all week for lunch?" I'm like, when you are a band director, one, you don't make the money to like make fresh meals every day. Two, you don't have the time to make fresh meals every day. So you cook on Sunday and then you just make it work the rest of the week. And he's like, I couldn't do that. And then he gets his job and he texted me either in the fall or sometime in the spring saying, Kendall, I'm meal planning. And I was like, I know, like, because you don't have time, do you? He's like, no, I don't.
That's kind of what we do. The kids would give me a hard time because Alexa would make me like chicken with broccoli and I would eat that all week. And they're like, you're eating chicken and broccoli again. And so whenever I would like change up the meal or she would change it to something different, they're like, ooh, changing the meal plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get off my back, Jack.
Well, it's funny. Some of my kids are like, they're like on like a fitness craze right now. And so they'll ask me like, how much protein is in that, Miss Santos? And so like we'll like compare like protein bars, or we'll compare snacks, or compare whatever. And oh, have you tried this bar? Have you tried this this chip? Have you tried this meal? Whatever. And I'm like, oh, so we'll share tricks of the trade and whatnot.
That's like my sister the other day. I don't remember what I told her. We were looking at something, like a protein drink or whatever, and she said, "I only drink the core proteins that have 42 grams of protein per drink, or like per shake or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Sorry for bringing it up.
Those are
She was
really
very
good.
adamant.
To her defense, those are really good.
I told her, I was like, I want to put one of those in the creamy and see how that would be.
Mhm.
Just the core protein. But I'm sure people do that all the time, but I've never done it. So
You'll probably need to add like milk or something to it.
yeah.
Okay, so here's a question. What is your favorite cheat meal?
Well, if cheesecake was considered a meal, it would be cheesecake for sure.
Ooh.
But or like a Pizookie from BJ's. If I could have that as just a meal, like yes. But if we're going like actual meal, like not like just dessert food, probably like a bacon cheeseburger always hits.
That's a solid answer.
Have you ever had a
And
Baconator
French fries
from Wendy's?
I'm sure I have, but to be honest, I don't know that I have like much of an opinion on it.
It is the greasiest burger on the face of the planet. Like, it is greasy. I don't know why. Like, out of all the burgers I've eaten in my life, that is the one that I look at, I've had in my past, that I've just been like,
I guess this is a weird statement, but I guess most fast foods like default like signature burgers, like most fast food places signature burgers don't have bacon on them, but that's Wendy's signature
Which
burger.
is a mistake. They need to have bacon on them.
But like if you think of like McDonald's, does McDonald's have bacon? I guess they do. I don't know. I don't ever go to McDonald's, but like a Big Mac doesn't have bacon on it. Like if you go to Whataburger, you can get bacon on it, but that's not like their main thing. No one goes to Burger King, right?
I don't think so.
But yeah,
No.
like the Baconator is the flagship bacon burger fast food
for Wendy's
sandwich. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, where's your go-to bacon burger?
If we're talking, okay, so I have this thing about like French fries that I can also carry into bacon burgers. there's like two categories. You have like the fast food lane, and then you have like the sit down restaurant lane, and they can't be really compared, you know. So if I were to give you my favorite bacon burger, fast food wise, I would go classic Whataburger. It's easy, it's simple, it's consistent.
Good
And then
answer.
if I was to go sit down restaurant, Texas Roadhouse.
Mm.
Huh.
I really miss Texas Roadhouse. We never go. I don't know why. We just
Well, it's because it's on
it's
the
like
other
way
side of
far
town.
away.
Yeah. I've never had a bacon burger from Texas Roadhouse. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have to try it out.
For science.
Do they
It's good.
use the rolls?
For the burger.
No, they
Yeah.
do not. Not for the burger, but their burger buns are good.
You know what's confusing to me now that we just talked about how Kendall is a bodybuilder and like counts her macros, and then I'm gonna bring this up. You know what's confusing about Chick-fil-A chicken minis is that I assumed when I first ever had them that they would be on biscuits, but they're on rolls. They're like little rolls.
Huh.
Yeah. It's based out of Atlanta. I thought they would have like southern biscuits on chicken minis, but they're like little bitty rolls. I'm sorry.
Expectations.
The thoughts that I
No, that's okay. I love chicken minis. I was like my post doctor's appointment treat after when I was pregnant. So I would always drive by Chick-fil-A and get some chicken minis on the way to work.
don't know why that's like what resonates with me about
Oh.
that. And I don't know why I have these thoughts, but here we
No,
are.
it's valid. It's a valid question. So, like, Kendall, how do you think like your program, the one that you grew up in, kind of molded and impacted the way you taught?
I think probably so when I did my soft interview with like with Evan and Chris about going to Cedar Park, they asked me they're like, who were the band directors that you had? Because most people will teach like the people that have taught them, and I don't think anything else could be more true. I feel like I teach similarly to how Biscuit taught me. Very personal with his kids, really sarcastic, but like because there's a good relationship there, and very honest. We'll tell you how it is and won't sugarcoat things because we want to get you better. We want to make sure that you're being achieving things at like at a high level. Um, and I even saw him doing a clinic. It's either this past TBA or maybe last year, and I was watching him teach, and I was like, "Oh my god, I feel like I'm like watching a mirror, and this is like really strange because I don't do it consciously. I don't think like I want to teach like Brent Biscup. Like I don't think that at all. But I think just because of how I was taught, and I really admired him, and I looked up to him growing up, that I inherited a lot of those qualities. And I'm like, oh god, like now I'm doing it like he did or like he does. So I think that's probably how I teach towards my kids and how it's related to like how I grew up.
And I mean, it's not like he's not creating a great experience for
Mhm.
his students at his school.
Yeah.
I remember like the first time I mean, you've watched Flower Mound and you've seen them, but seeing them do that Dr. Seuss show
Mhm.
was like the
Mhm.
first time ever that I had been overwhelmed visually.
Oh yeah. There's a
Like
lot
it
of
was
It's
just
pretty
a
unreal.
lot. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was awesome. But it was just like, oh my goodness, like how do you lead that rehearsal, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty unreal what they do and how they do it, and like they're such great people as well. Like it's not um I don't know. It's like it's such a topic because everyone takes marching band so seriously, and I don't. They do take it seriously, but I don't think they take it to like a toxic level, which I think is really cool. And that's only looking at it from afar, and just knowing what I know of them as people. But like they're trying to create art, and that's really cool. And like they're trying to provide a really great experience for their kids and to give them a great product to perform that they believe in and that they enjoy doing, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
So would you say like who would you say has been your like one of your greatest mentors through this whole entire process of music education?
When you wrote that question, I did think I was like, gosh, there's so many that like I could answer because I feel like there's different people in different corners of my life that have been more influential in those time periods. So like for band directing alone, Chrissy, like if it wasn't for him, like I would have quit teaching, like for sure. He helped me. He dragged me across the finish line in my first year to teach. Um, It was a really tough year. Even Steve Wessels, my head director, he looked at me and he said, "Every first year to teach is really tough, but this year in particular is very hard." And I was like, "Okay, so this is not just me having a rough time." Um, and Chris helped me a lot through all that. And then in my college drum corps era, there's so many people I could pick from, but one that sticks out is a guy named Gene Montrastelli. He's kind of like the old Italian godfather of drum corps. He looks over like the drum majors in DCI a lot. He's kind of like their caption head, if you will, or their like go-to person. There are a lot of moments where he would encourage me, and then in my high school chapter, Grant Biscup for sure.
So you just said something. So have there ever been a time where you thought about leaving the profession?
Yeah, I mean, like in my early years to teach, like it was really tough, and I think when I went into it, I went in thinking, yes, I have a lot of room to grow, and yes, I don't know everything. There's a lot I need to learn, but I don't think I fully understood like the magnitude of the program and the area and the demand and the pressure of it and what it was taking at the time to sustain all of that, like the image, the success, the trying to change the culture and having those meetings and having those tough conversations. And so I just, I was having a hard time balancing work and life, but I also didn't know what that balance was that I was looking for. But I knew that what I was living wasn't it. And then, COVID, I think everybody thought for a second, like, this is not it, you know? And like the year after that, because it was like you're trying to relearn how to do band, and, the parents are amazing and they're your biggest supporters, but sometimes they make things a little hard, and difficult because they don't always understand why we make decisions that we do. And you can't always explain everything. But I think in the last like 3 years, I've turned a corner where like I really do at the end of the day, like I really do love teaching and I love doing what I do and I love being able to create with students. I think that's a really special, and I definitely missed that when I was like on maternity leave. I loved that I took all the time to be with Ryder, and that was like so wonderful. But I did miss being able to be a part of a team and being able to create something and be in a creative space. Like that was really special, and I didn't know that I missed that until it was, temporarily removed. So yeah, there have been moments where I thought about it, especially getting ready to have kids. Like, can I do this? Am I able to do this? Like, has anybody else done this before? There's been question marks, but I love it.
Yeah. Well, now that you are a mom, like how has that changed your perception of like the job and just kind of how you're going to move forward with what you're doing?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. For the last several years, Chris and I have been doing a lot to try to make the time in the band hall less on either end of the day, coming in a little bit later and leaving a little bit earlier. Because I used to, like, my first year to teach, I would be there at like 6 a.m. and I wouldn't leave until like 7 p.m. on average, most days. And like, you can't do that. Um, if you have, a family and kids, and if you want to be sustainable. And so we've been finding ways to try to make it to where we're not living those hours all the time. So that's been a big help. And then Chris and I also sat down and looked at what we're doing now and what we're hoping to do next year now that I have riders, so that I'm able to both be at work and or bring him to work at some points during the day or during the week and or leave. Um, when I need to, because I'm really lucky that I have a head director that is willing to be flexible and to change how we've always done things so that I can stay teaching in front of the kids, which I'm really thankful for because I know that that is not the case everywhere. Something that I've also been trying to be better at is like when I'm with Ryder, I am all in. Like the phone is down, like I'm super present. I'm not doing anything else. I'm like just playing with him. I'm on the ground, rolling around. And then when I'm in the band hall, I've noticed that I'm also more present with the people that are there. Like whether it's my coworkers, I'm having conversations with them. I used to be like the multitasker and I would be texting while having a conversation and answering email and eating lunch, and it's like none of those things are getting done well. So I've also noticed I've been way more present with my students. When I came back, there was a lot of conferences happening, about band placements or leadership aspirations or leadership results or band placement results. And so I was really purposeful about putting the phone down and being totally there. And so I could hear them, they could feel heard, and I was able to give them the time and the energy that they needed to get what they wanted out of those conferences. Um, and I think that they've noticed a difference with that too, which is good.
Well, that says a lot about your staff dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you and Chris can sit down and have those conversations, and he's invested in you as a person first and foremost, and he values you as like a parent
Mm-hmm.
and you as a like member of the team. And it says a lot about the family atmosphere that you guys have tried to create there.
100%.
So tell me this, what makes Leander IC and Cedar Park so special?
I'll start with Cedar Park. um the community, like the kids and the parents, they will do anything for you. I mean, they will jump in front of a bus for you. Like, if you show them that you will work hard for them and that you love them, that you'll take care of them, and that you'll do whatever it takes to provide them a great experience, and to make sure that the band hall is a special place that they look forward to every day, like, and you've got their hearts, you will have won them over, and they will go to the end of the earth for you. um the parents are great about volunteering and being super involved, which I'm like really thankful for because I know that's not the same at every community. Our admin and like the school is fantastic. The general, like the other academic teachers are really supportive. We try to do our best to support them in getting our kids to pass their classes. And so they're really supportive of our kids. And we have to share a lot of kids because our kids do a lot of multiple activities. But it's definitely like the community and the sense of loyalty, I think, is really cool too. A lot of the directors that are there, excuse me, for many years, and even after they leave, they keep coming back. Like Steve Wessels, he's been there since the school opened, as an assistant, and then taking over as a head director. He still comes back every year to clinic the bands, and then Jeremy Spicer was the marching band director for a long time, and was a marching tech, and he comes in. He's our program coordinator. And has been for many years, and clinics the group. Mike Howard is our fine arts director, and he was a student teacher at Cedar Park. So it's like there's so much about the district and about music education that has come from that band hall that's really special to be a part of, just because it's been around for so long. um, and there's a lot of systems and processes that were born there that have traveled across the country, which is really cool. So for Leander, probably that the directors, they like hang out a lot outside of work, um, because they like it, but also like because we like help each other, and it's a great network, to share tricks of the trade and whatnot. The mentorship network is really special. You can ask anyone for help, and they will give it to you, and they'll come into your band hall, they'll pick up the phone, they'll answer an email, whatever you need. Um, but especially our private lesson staff, that's really special and unique. We are super fortunate that we have a really strong private lesson program in the district, and that is what allows us to do so much, um, especially at the high school level. And last thing I'll brag on is our middle school programs are unbelievable, unbelievable, and they allow us at the high school to do whatever we want, which is really really special. So between private lessons and the middle school staff, like, I couldn't ask for anything better.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I noticed, because we went to BOA Austin for the first time, and you know the the way the Leander ISD band directors like clumped together is something super special. Like you could see it just like I was there. I saw the Cedar Park people talking to the Vandergrift people who were talking to the Rouse people. And it was just like, it wasn't one like, oh, this is our staff. This is our staff. It was like you guys were cutting up because you are Leander ISD.
Well, and a lot of that's because, like, we know each other from outside of the district too. Like, Caitlin at Rouse and I have known each other for years, because we were both DCI drum majors forever together. And, like, I've known Kyle at Vandergrift for a long time because he went to college with one of my best friends I marched with at OSU, and he marched crown. So it's like a lot of us are connected beyond just the job, before we even got to Leander ISD, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. And then, Robert Herrings is a matchmaker and he sets everyone up on dates. So
Yes, I know. Yeah. He, although I will say, Chris is the one that takes ownership over getting me and Zach together, but
Robert can't claim it.
oh. Oh.
no, he cannot.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So with the like, how do you handle like the standard and expectation that comes from being part of like that whole entire type of system?
I don't know that I have a good answer for this because my answer is just like, you put your head down and stay in your bubble and you work. Like you do what you do and you do what you can with whatever's in front of you, and you make the kids have a great experience and get them to wherever they are capable of going. Um, it is really hard to not compare yourself to like the sister schools in the area. I would be lying if I said that I didn't. And I think any band director in the district would also be lying if they said that they didn't. Um, but I try my best to just keep my head down and stay in our lane of Cedar Park and like only think about my kids and my program. And that's when I have found myself to have like the most success. And I don't mean competitive success, but I mean like, cultural success. Like make sure the kids are smiling when they come off the field or smiling when they finish their UIL program. Um, Things like that. So just trying to stay to myself, and not let the outside, rumblings and grumblings get into our space.
Well, and that's kind of I asked that question because I mean it is a highly competitive district. It is a highly successful like program that you're in. And like I asked that question and it's almost like, well, like I don't know anything different. It's the same way with like us and having twins. People ask us all the time, like, what is it like having twins? Well, probably the same thing. It's like having a singleton. I don't know. This is all we know.
Yeah, and I like Chris and I talk about this a lot. Like he came into the district when it was on the up and up and it was growing and getting more successful competitively. I came in when it was like on fire. Like so there was no easing into it. It was just like sink or swim. Like you're gonna either make this work or you're gonna get out. And so I learned to make it work. And we figured out how to keep the wheels turning and keep trying to, not reinvent the wheel, but try to, finesse our systems and processes that we already have and continue to improve them each year.
I love that you keep on saying, systems and processes because I think that is going to a hallmark to what makes you guys successful. Like you were talking about like, oh, I make it list down to the minute and yada. I was like, oh my goodness. Like if I did that, I would we would probably be a lot better. But I would
Yeah.
also like go like, how do I manage all of this? So that says a lot about what you guys are doing. So in turn, like how do you get that culture like going in your band hall?
I don't know. Again, I don't know that I have a great answer because like I inherited a really well-oiled machine. So it was already like a part of like the DNA of the program. I mean, I have the same clipboard that Evan used, when he was the marching band director before Chris was. I have the same keyboard that he did. I have the same lesson plans that he used to write from 2015, 16, and 17, that we've just copied and changed the fonts and changed the dates and changed the formatting. But it's the same like structure and the same idea. Um, and so the kids like they know what to expect. I think. I also think making them a part of the process and having them have a sense of ownership over some of it is something that we've grown in. Like I always send out. We didn't used to send out the lesson plans not because we like were hiding them. We just, I don't know why we just didn't, but like now we do. And so every day they know what we're doing, how they need to set up for class, where we're starting after school, what we're rehearsing, what I expect to have accomplished, and we'll tell them we are behind, and then they will know like what projects we're not getting to because we're behind. I think that's helped the buy-in a lot too, um, because then they know how to like self-manage on the field or in the concert arcs, making sure that people are prepared and rehearsing well, following the protocols, things like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I I do that for summer band, but I don't do it as much for
Mm-mm.
the school year.
Well, you also do something that's a little bit different. You have a leadership meeting every single day before rehearsal because we rehearse in the morning. So that's like the first thing
Mm.
in the morning that happens is leadership meeting. And you kind of talk about that.
Yeah, I think I need to be better about like doing it in preparation for the next day.
Yeah. I mean, you're very good about it for concert season. But I think because you already like maybe do the leadership meeting, it's different. But you don't communicate with the masses. It's like
Yeah,
the leadership
maybe
team.
that's something I need to establish. Maybe we'll be better because of it.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, maybe I'll stop pulling my hair out when it comes to marching season.
Maybe so.
Maybe
Yeah.
not.
You won't.
It happens to the best of us.
Oh my goodness, marching season! I love it and I despise it all at the same time. I mean, it's a love hate relationship. But so you being part of that kind of dynamic like team, like how do you see your role as an assistant director and how do you feel like it's best utilized?
My job is to make Chris's job easier. So, whatever that means, I try to help answer questions before they get to his desk. I try to take care of tasks that I can that will make his job easier. Um, I think what also helps is that between the three of us, like me and him, and whoever the third position is, like now it's gonna be Sam DiMatteo, we have really clear outlines of this is fully your project. Like you are the project manager of this task. Like for me, it's the marching band. I'm the project manager of the marching band. Sam will be the project manager of our solo contest. Chris is the project manager of the budget. And so we all know who's in charge of what, so we're easily able to like push questions or students to certain people, so we can kind of body block them from Chris. My job is to try my best to make his job easier while taking care of my tasks and making sure that Sam, is also, getting used to her job, and she's not having to like only rely on Chris for information on how to do her job. Like I'm there to help her as well get eased into the job and know what she's in charge of, so that he can focus on the big meetings and like the front of the school, issues, in the admin office and things like that.
Yeah. Well, and I like it just has to be such a good and clear relationship from like the head director to the assistant directors. And I feel like when the reason a lot of programs might not be moving at an optimal level is because there's a breakdown in communication in that way.
100%. The biggest thing I tell people, like if they're student teaching and they're getting ready to take job interviews, is I tell them, of course you are interviewing for this job, but they're also like they're interviewing you, but you're also interviewing them. Like you need to know about who these people are as people outside of the job, because like just because a program is amazing or ideal, you might not like their personalities or how they run the ship, and that's okay. But like you need to know that, because if you go there thinking it's going to be, rainbows and sunshine because it's this like amazing program, it might be your living hell if you don't like the people that you're with, because you're with them for hours every day, and if you don't enjoy it and enjoy being on that team, it's not worth it. I don't care how successful you are, like it's not worth it. You need to enjoy the people that you're, going through the mud with.
Dang. That
Yeah.
needs to be on like billboards, places, like when people apply for jobs. Inscribe that somewhere.
Yeah, because like your self worth is like directly tied to your interactions with those people at a consistent rate. Because like I used to tell them, like I said this, like Victor Garza was my work husband.
Yeah.
Like Michael Hamilton was my work husband. And because I was spending from 6:45 a.m. to 5 p.m. with Victor Garza or Michael Hamilton or Corbin Myers or Johanna Reynolds.
You're leaving Corbin out of that one.
But I spend all this time with these people, and if I don't like you on some base level, good luck.
I noticed you left somebody off.
You? It's because I work with you, and then I also come home to you.
That's true. You're stuck.
Yeah, our dynamic level is just a tad bit different. You already knew I liked you. I asked you to marry me.
I still ask you every day, basically, if you like me.
Do you ask Zach if he likes you every day?
No, I don't.
She knows. That's the thing, is Kendall knows.
Kendall, who wears the pants in the relationship?
I think it depends on the topic, to be honest.
Well, if someone's bringing a golf cart home,
or forgetting their shoes. Was that?
Yeah.
Did you set a budget on the white monsters for him at some point in time?
No, but his students, he would make it like a tax. If you want to bring me, if you want to use my fridge, you get to bring me a white monster or something. So he had an unlimited supply. So I don't know how many he was consuming in a day when he was teaching. I do know that he consumes less caffeine now that he's home.
A little bit concerned.
Yeah.
Well, not now, but in the past.
Yeah, he had an IV drip apparently. Well,
I think
Kendall,
he'd only had one a day, but
supposedly. Well, Kendall, so how do you operate on a daily basis? Because apparently you don't drink coffee.
No, I don't drink coffee. Chris has tried for years to get me to like coffee, and everyone was like, "Oh, after the first year, you're gonna totally be drinking coffee," and I don't. I will say though, I do have caffeine. I just don't drink coffee. But I drink a pre-workout before I work out, and I usually work out in the mornings before I go to work, and so I have Alani pre-workout, not like the canned Alani, but like the powder Alani. And so I have that. We are an Alani household. Zach has gotten into the mini cans. So he has that during the day. I have my pre-workout Alani. I also love me a good Diet Coke. I got to be a big fan of Diet Coke about 2 years ago. So
I wonder what it would be like if they made White Monster in powder form.
Oh,
because they do Alani makes a lot of products. I don't know if people realize that they have a lot of products.
Yeah, I think they started off as a pre-workout supplement.
Yeah, but they have protein bars and stuff and all sorts of things.
Could you imagine White Monster protein?
That's what I'm saying.
Pre-workout.
Monster is very specifically one product, and what if people were just downing Monster pre-workout? And I don't know, just
it would be really bad.
Zach would
really
subscribe.
bad.
Yeah.
His heart would give out.
Yeah.
Never had it.
You've never had a White Monster? Wow. I don't really like them. I tried one because Jose jumped onto the White Monster train because Zach jumped onto the White Monster train. It's like if Zach Santos bought camo pants and flip flops, Jose would buy camo pants.
But no.
Okay, once upon a time, Zach gave Jose a White Monster in the Vista Ridge Band Hall, and ever since then, there's been White Monster.
Well, yeah, it's because it infected our staff. It wasn't just a Jose Sanchez thing. It was a Corbin Myers.
Let me tell you now, and we have
Michael Hamilton.
But we have White Monster in our fridge right now, thanks to Zach Santos.
Yes. So. It wasn't just a me thing. Thank you very much. Well, it was a group effort.
It was called Mean Girls, not Mean Girls. So just throwing it out there.
So do y'all have a weekly staff meeting?
Yeah, we during the fall we meet every Monday before school starts, and the parents are awesome. They sign up to bring us breakfast, so the meetings aren't so icky for a Monday morning. So they bring us homemade breakfast, and it's it's my favorite part of the week. Not the meeting part, but the breakfast part. And so I look forward to it. And then in the spring, we do it less, but they are on Mondays whenever we have them.
That's cute. I love that.
We have a former band parent. She was a band parent named Betty Holden. And we love Betty because Betty after every single like contest, like UIL contest, she'll bring the staff like a fajita platter
She
from.
still does it.
Yeah, she still. Her daughter's been out of our
Her
program.
daughter has been teaching for 2 years.
Yeah, but she's been. I mean, she was in college for what 4 or 5 years, and then teaching. So 7 years after every UIL contest, she brings us a fajita platter.
But Teresa also would bring us dinner on Monday nights.
Yes,
so that was nice. Like before rehearsal,
that was
Teresa
wonderful.
would bring us
Oh, that's
dinner.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
she would even bring stuff for the kids, like package it up for them.
Shout out
so
band
sweet.
parents. So you touched on this a little bit already. So you've been involved in the marching arts, the activity.
Why'd you have to do that?
Because
you changed your whole body language.
I know
when you
I
said
had
it.
to. It's the marching arts.
Okay.
It's a shift. When did we start calling it the activity? Does anybody know? Anybody have a date on that? Pageantry. Yes.
Pageantry.
I don't think anyone has it marked on their calendar.
Man, I
like
really
circled.
We need to contact somebody in DCI and ask, like, when was it referred to as the activity?
I'm sure somebody. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, get back to your question.
Who did that? So you are a flute player, as you have proclaimed. You are her. But you were involved in drum corps. How did that happen?
Yeah, so a lot of drum corps, more so now than when I was auditioning, but a lot of drum corps do what they call open auditions, where they can open an audition for a drum major or conductor for people who have never marched with that organization. Because other drum corps at the time, you had to have marched with the corps, like in the horn line usually, and then they pull from within the horn line to be a drum major. But as a flute player, I was unwilling to learn a new instrument because I didn't want to ruin my flute chops for college, and so I wanted to go the drum major route because that's what I did in high school. And I earned a spot with the academy, and so I did that for a year in 2012, and then I did the same thing for the cadets in 13 through 16.
So 4 years as drum major with 2 different organizations. So what made you stay at the cadets for 3 years?
The people, which is it's a lot like Cedar Park, to be honest. Like the loyalty there is really strong. I loved the staff. I was really close with the percussion staff my first year, because that's like who I primarily worked with, was the drumline and the percussion staff, and they were just awesome, and they really made me feel welcomed and at home. And the percussion captain head, Colin McNutt, he came up to me and was like, "Kendall, I want to see you on a podium next year," because I was technically a field conductor, which is basically the same responsibilities of a drum major, just without like the leadership title or the leadership roles. It's like you conduct, you wear the uniform, you run the metronome, you're in rehearsal, you do the shows, all the things. You just aren't given like leadership opportunity. And I was like, Colin, I don't know how that works. I don't think that like I get to audition for drum major, because they at the time didn't do open auditions. And he's like, "Oh well, I'm gonna make sure that it happens." And so, a week after finals, I emailed around and asked like, "Am I able to audition for drum major?" And then I was. But yeah, no, the staff, like, they gave me a lot of opportunity, which I was really thankful for. I learned a lot from the brass staff once I got to know them more, because I didn't interact with them a lot in 2013, because I was pretty secluded with the percussion. And in 14, 15, 16, I worked a lot more with the brass staff. And Gino is one of my big mentors from my time there, and it still is, and I still keep in touch with him now. And they really watched me grow up, which is like kind of cool. They like all came to my wedding, so it's really the people and like the loyalty there. And my best friends are from marching there, Kayla and Sam. So yeah, just great people. Made me want to keep coming back.
Do you have a favorite show out of those 3 years?
I love the music to 2013. Side by Side, it's Samuel Barber music, and it's one of my favorite music books we've ever done. And we selfishly programmed it for Cedar Park this past fall, which was awesome. So it was cool to kind of like relive that with my own kids. But 2014, like, was probably my favorite group of people. They were just really sweet and really fun and really nice. It was a terrible show, a show that should not have been as competitively successful as it was. It was like I think it was called Promise: An American Portrait. It was about presidents. Is Aaron Copland music? The music was good. Um, Drum corps was really talented, really talented. So those are my favorite people. And then, but overall, 2015 was probably my like, if I had to like say like favorite of my 4 years there, probably 2015. Music was killer, really talented organization. It was a really fun show. It was really challenging. It's probably one of the more memorable shows from the last couple years. Um, so yeah.
Do you have a favorite part of the marching arts?
I love that it's like a big group project and that, especially for high school, every kid in the program is doing something to contribute to the product at the same time. Like that is the only time that like every kid in the program is doing something for one common goal. Because like in the concert season, you're accomplishing goals by band or in winter guard or in your percussion ensembles, but in the marching band, like everyone's working together all the time, which I think is really special. And that's, I think, why a lot of our kids love the fall is because they see everyone in their sections, every day and every week there's a field trip for a football game or a band contest, and so the community that the fall or that the marching season brings, I think, is really special. That's my favorite thing to watch, and I think my favorite thing to like teach, and cultivate as a teacher.
That's been like a complaint from our kids is that when we get into concert season, they lose the connection with the rest of their section.
Yep. Same for us.
So we're trying to figure out some ways to alleviate that system. So do you have any recommendations on that? Have y'all addressed that issue?
A lot of our kids do section parties like in the fall and the summer, and then they've started to continue them in the spring semester. So like they'll all get together at somebody's house and do movie night or a pool party or whatever. Or like we have like a neighborhood park, Milburn Park, and they'll go play beach volleyball. But that's been a big help.
We're gonna have to put a note in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good thing. So do you have a mistake that you've made that's made you a better educator?
I used to honestly take myself too seriously as a teacher, and I would get really mad really easily. Like I had a really short fuse and a really short temper, and I would get so frustrated either at my kids or myself, and like either for them misbehaving or them like not practicing or me not knowing how to fix a problem. Like I didn't have the tools, and I would get so upset, and I it would build like a wall between me and my kids. Like I wasn't able to build really great relationships with them because I was just constantly being mad and angry, and I couldn't figure out like what is going on, and like there was no there's no like levity or like life in my rehearsals because I wasn't being like my own personality, like my own personality. I was trying to be like an image of what I envisioned like a Cedar Park band director was, and I was getting frustrated when like I wasn't living up to that. And so I had to learn as I got more comfortable with teaching, it's okay to tell stories. It's okay to not play every single minute. It's okay to like crack jokes and to like laugh and to have fun. It doesn't have to be like work, 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 work for 90 minutes straight. And so, but it took me a long time to really learn that. And it wasn't probably really till like after COVID and when I got more comfortable in like my third and fourth year of teaching, to try some of those. And now I feel like I've got a really good rhythm with that.
I I met a fantastic human being while I was over at camp earlier this past month by the name of Jarrell Horton. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
So Jarrell is a band director from Alabama. And I connected with him really, really quickly just because like right automatically fantastic human being. Like you could just tell like the vibe he gave off was just, I was like, I want to talk to that guy, which is like always so nice when you can like connect with somebody from across the room and it just be because of their energy is
Hmm.
so good. And like, you just like, oh my goodness. Like that was a big reason why I went to Baylor. Is like, there was a guy by the name of, Colin Campbell, and he was like a fantastic tuba player, but the vibe he gave off of made me go like, I want to be like part of that. I think that's one of the other like cool things about Leander ISD is that there's such a good vibe from so many people there that good people also want to be a part of that and they want to connect to that, which is always welcoming. But Jarrell is just like this wonderful human being, and he led this part of the Music for All camp that was about being your authentic self in music. Like you have to be authentic to yourself more than anybody else, and through the way you teach is like that authenticity that is going to make it easier for your kids to connect to you and ultimately make you happy.
Mhm. 100%.
I think that's the thing a lot of people struggle with. Like I know I have.
Yeah, I think why I got so mad and frustrated and, like, kinda built that wall between me and my kids was because I also was really not confident in my abilities of teaching. Like, I knew that I was at a deficit for the concert season. Like, I had marching band chops out the wazoo, but, like, I did not have any tools, or at least I didn't feel like I had any tools for getting those, 3rd and 4th band kids what they needed to be successful. I was never a 3rd and 4th band kid, so, like, I couldn't get into their brain, I couldn't help I didn't feel like I could help them because I didn't know how they thought. I didn't know how to get them motivated and how to get them interested and engaged. And trying to be a copycat of what I thought was the band director, was not working either. And so it was like this internal battle. And so I would take it out in frustration. And I had to learn like that's not going to work. And you have, like you said, you have to be your authentic self, and but you have to know like what that is. And I didn't know what the concert season authentic self of me was because I hadn't done it enough. I had to kind of bump around a little bit and figure it out. And then over the years, I've gotten way more comfortable with it.
And like being a band director is like being in a bumper car, isn't it?
Kind of.
Like you kind of just run into things and like figure things out as you give yourself whiplash.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, okay, I'm gonna create some damage over here. Oh, not as much over there. Okay, over here. Do you have a favorite carnival ride?
No, but I also haven't been to one in a long time, and oddly enough, so Zach and I went to the Austin rodeo when I was on maternity leave, and so I was, like, maybe 2 months postpartum, and I saw, it's all these, like, smaller rides, right? And I'm like, "Oh, do you wanna, like, go on any of these?" And I'm watching them, and my stomach is, like, turning upside down watching other people do them, and they would have, like, totally been stuff I would have done, like, pre-pregnancy, and I'm like, "What happened? Like, why am I wanting to, like, throw up watching these people do this roller coaster?" But I used to do that, like, several years ago, so that was, like, a really strange shift. But a good one is Mr. Freeze at the Six Flags in Arlington, or if we're going the Disney route, the Star Wars ride is always great.
Those are some good answers.
Yeah, that was solid.
Do you have a favorite carnival ride?
Honestly, if we're going to like just a pop-up carnival, you can't. For me, I love a good Ferris wheel.
Yeah. I'm on board with that.
I like
Classic.
a nice, easy.
Do you
easy
remember when
ride.
we did the Ferris wheel in Seattle?
Oh yeah, that was great.
That one's.
That and the gondolas and the Royal Gorge.
I have a story about not when I was a child
Oh.
about the gondolas in Royal Gorge.
Weren't you trying to open up the door?
Yeah, like people were freaking out and like, why did my parents let me do that? Because my parents thought it was, I guess, funny ? But I was like trying to open the door to get out of the gondola as it was over the gorge, and people were like freaking out. But anyway, and then we went back as adults, and it was really fun.
Yeah.
We got a gondola to ourselves.
Well, Kendall, I hear you also like to travel a whole lot.
Yeah, we traveled a lot, the last 2 summers. This summer, we were pretty much, like, homebound because we just didn't know what traveling was gonna be like with, a newborn, but, yeah, no, we did, like, 2 or 3 years of, like, serious travel, before Ryder.
Yeah, traveling with the newborns, difficult.
Yeah.
Difficult.
Seen so much stuff. It feels like.
Yeah. Like we have a story.
Yes.
The first time we decided to travel to Dallas, we got to the outskirts
my
of Waco,
gosh.
and our daughter like vomits all over the place.
I don't know, how old are they? Like, probably as old as Joel is now.
It was Christmas.
Oh, were they that little?
I think we tried to go up for Christmas. It was Christmas. It was
I
some
don't think
holiday.
I don't think that that's what it was.
I don't
I
know.
think it was the following like Thanksgiving.
Maybe
I don't know. They were
young.
Yeah.
But yeah, just
We also had 2 of them, so it was just like I don't know.
One's vomiting,
Everything's
one's
twice as
crying.
hard.
Yeah, and everything's kind of a blur, I guess.
Yeah.
So who
Ye-
knows?
yeah.
Who knows what it was?
Yeah, sleep deprivation, drunkenness. Yeah, that's what that was.
Something like that.
So, do you have a favorite like trip that you've gone on?
Yes, it was in 2023. We went to Bali and Thailand and the Philippines. It was like a 3-week trip. If I could, I would live in Bali for like a month. It was amazing. It's beautiful. The people are super nice. It is a trek to get there. Like it took us like 3 or 4 flights to get there because you're literally on the opposite side of the world. Um, but what was cool is that like in those flights, like we got to see Singapore and we got to see Japan. So like it was like you get other bonus trips along the way. But Bali is incredible, and I would 10 out of 10 recommend everyone to go check it out. It is like so worth like the headache of getting over there because and it's also super cheap. Like once you're there, it is like super cheap. We actually saved money by being there and not being here. Um and spending money here. Yeah, it was pretty wild. But it is like people are really nice. It's beautiful. The beaches are incredible. There's so much to do and so much to see. And it's just like the culture's great. Like it's yeah, that's my favorite by far.
That's cool.
So, if you had a no cost, like everything is covered, like it doesn't matter what. If you had one place you could go to as a trip, where would it be?
If I could go somewhere new, like if I couldn't go back, I would go to Bali. I would go to Bali, but like if I couldn't go there, if I had to pick somewhere new, I really want to go to Europe. I know it sounds like super stereotypical, but Zach went on like this huge Europe trip after our first year to teach. He went with Kyle Norris, and we had like just started dating, so I obviously was not invited. But he has this thing about not going back to places he's been to, and so I really want to go, but he won't take me. So I want to go with either like my girlfriends or even by myself, whatever, we'll see. But I'd love to go to Europe and Switzerland and places like that. So
Here's another question: has Kyle always had the mustache?
I don't think so. No, I think he's gone through several different phases of facial hair and like hair. Like he's had different like haircuts while he's been teaching too.
Huh. Not everyone can pull off the mustache. I think Kyle does it pretty well.
I think he does a good job as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to see him with handlebars though.
That'd be cool.
I
I
think
don't know
he could
how
do it.
I don't know how Cat would react to it, but I'm here for it.
I think it was for like a theme of something. Like if they were like, I don't know, go to like a party or something like a Western party, like she'd be into it. But other than that,
On a
probably
day
not.
to day, get out of here. Get
Yeah.
out of here. Where's Kyle originally from? Is he originally from Texas?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma? See?
Yeah, we knew that.
Yeah. See, the mustache, he could be Pistol Pete.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
We'll save that for his artwork when he's eventually on the podcast.
Oh man, I can't wait for that. So, like, what's something, now that we've talked about like an array of things, what's something you would like tell young band directors? Like, what kind of advice would you give them?
Don't assume that you know enough. Like I thought that I had like a lot of tools like going into my first year of teaching, and I was like so overwhelmed with how much I didn't know. And like I knew there's gonna be like a lot of room to like learn and like a lot that I didn't know, but I didn't know like the magnitude and like the vastness of the unknown. There's an image or a graphic that Chris sent me. It's called like the 7 stages of like the first year of teaching or something. And like I wish every student teacher was handed that before graduating because that would have helped me mentally prepare for like what was coming up. It's like, excitement and then like disillusionment and like it's I don't know, it's like 5 or 7 stages and like I once he sent it to me I was like this makes complete sense as to why I'm feeling the way I am right now about everything. But yeah, don't expect that you have enough information and just be open to that and just be ready to take in everything, and it's going to be a lot because nothing prepares you for that first year. Even if you have the best student teaching placement, there's nothing like actually doing it.
Yeah. So what's something you wish, since you already touched on it, what's something you wish you knew more about before taking on the job?
Instrument pedagogy, like I feel, especially being I was the third band director, so I was teaching the third and the fourth bands. The kids need the most help with just the fundamentals. I did not they don't give you enough of that in your brass and woodwind methods classes, and you just don't have enough time. Like, it's not their fault, it's just not, you're trying to cram 4 or 5 instruments into, 10 weeks or whatever. So I felt like I was at a disadvantage because I'd never taught middle school before teaching high school. And those middle school people who go from middle school and transition to high school have so much more to draw upon that's way more immediately helpful to those kids than what I was able to do. And so I had to learn a lot and ask a lot of questions about, how do you do this? How do you fix this? I know what I don't like, but I don't know how to articulate how to fix it or why I don't like it, but I know it's not right. And so that's where I was at a disadvantage for sure.
We've talked about this too, and I feel like the system is almost flawed in a way because you really have to have that to teach like the sub non varsity bands of the world. And usually the people that are teaching the sub non varsity bands maybe don't have that same experience that the head director does, or it just depends on where you are, But, and that is like, it can be just so hard for the teacher because you want to give them the knowledge that they need, but that stuff like instrument pedagogy takes so long to learn. It's like you get like however long you get in college, but it takes years to figure any of it out. And it's just like
Mhm.
so, and it's not anybody's fault, it's just like how it is. But there's very few people that like step into it and they're like, I can fix all of these instrument issues. It's like I don't think anybody's actually like that. But we've talked about that before. It's just like that is such like a disadvantage to a young teacher when that is like what you have to do because that's what everyone has to do. And it's
Yeah.
just
Well, and then there's like so many of the great band directors that are in head positions right now were middle school directors
well, like
first. Like
Chris.
Chris Yee. Like, how
Yeah.
long was he a middle school director before he was a head director?
12 years.
But when you go to like a clinic that Chris does, you can like see that when he
Yeah.
teaches like brass, like you
Mhm.
can it's like very evident that he
Yeah.
has that like
Very much so. Like, we went to I think y'all did clinics last year, correct, Kendall?
TBA, yes.
Okay. I remember him like doing this whole entire thing. Like, when we talk about airstream and creating our vibrations, we don't call it a buzz,
mhm.
about lowering the lips into a position where they finally react to. I was like, oh my God,
Mhm.
Yeah.
why didn't I think about that? And I've
Yeah.
been brass player since sixth grade, but like, I never thought about it being something that the lips react to just
Mhm.
based off of like the airstream.
Yeah.
And it's so simple, but yet it's so like intentful
Yeah.
and not calling it a
There's like a lot
buzz
of
and
op
like,
there's a lot of like opinions and like forethought that you don't have unless you've experienced it and you've like had trials and tribulations of like, oh, well, that worked, that didn't work. I really like this. I like how this impacted the kids and like the effect I got out of it, and it's like I didn't have any of that.
Yeah. And you can like and that's why sometimes when I think of our small school colleagues who started as a head director, um, in a situation where they're the only director, I'm like, y'all are awesome because I don't know how you do it. And I know Jose's been in a position before where he's had like as sixth grade classes, just like everyone's in one room and you're teaching every instrument at the same time. And it's just so crazy how people get the things done that they get done because it is incredible. And you have to have so much knowledge and so much patience and just a lot of experience. Not necessarily a lot of experience because people do it successfully with not a lot of experience, but just a lot of, I guess, persistence to get people where they need to get.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I was in Minneapolis too, is because it's a lot of,
Mhm.
the one person that teaches, heterogeneous classes where it's like all different
Mhm.
instruments in one classroom. It's like you have to know all of them and be able to teach all of them at the same time, it's like, how do you even like manage that? And then, oh, next period is choir, and the class after that's orchestra. It's like I was like, I'm out. I can't do that.
Yeah, that's
I'm
wild.
not smart enough to be able to do all that. No way.
I'm not either.
So, do you have a favorite memory as a band director and or a student?
As a band director, there are two. My first year to teach was really hard. But when we were coming off the stage from concert sight reading, one of my trumpet players, he was a sophomore at the time. Um, we were coming off stage, and they did a great job. Like it was a really, really, really great performance. Very like well prepared, and they did an incredible job. And I was really happy for them and really proud of them. And he gets off the stage, and I can like see his face still, and he's like, at the time, my name is Miss Stevenson. He goes, Miss Stevenson, that was so much fun. I was like, that's awesome. I love that you had such a great time. And so that's one of my favorite memories. And then my other one is in the fall. Is in We were at BOA Waco 2021, and we had just performed at finals, and the look on the kids' faces, like we weren't even off the field yet, and kids were running up to me saying how great of a show it was and how much fun it was, and like that was it, that was the show. It was like super magical, and it did nothing other than that moment mattered. And I try to like get them to capture that and like hold on to that and like what that felt like. But that was like so cool to see them just really be proud of what they had done, and like how much like lit up their eyes, that like we did that. We like, just threw down. And just the number of kids that felt that way was really, really cool. So yeah, those are my two favorites so far.
That's great.
Mhm.
And once it's never really like the like this that it's always about like the enjoyment of the kids, like what
Mhm.
they're putting out, the way they're
Yeah.
feeling. Like, once we lose sight of that, it becomes a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
So speaking of, do you have a bucket list item, like a piece you want to perform, an award, a moment that you want to experience?
Oh, wow. Bucket list. I would like, before I retire, to conduct Rocky Point Holiday. It's like a signature cadets old school piece, and we used to play in the lot, kind of like, to pay honor to the corps that played it earlier. And I think to play the actual concert piece would be really special. That'd be really cool. It's definitely too hard for the band that I conduct right now and the second band. I'd have to be like if I was ever like in a head director position. Um, that would be cool. But other than that, like to be honest, I am in no rush to be a head director. Like whether it be at Cedar Park or anywhere else, like I'm really content being an assistant director and running the marching band. Like, I love not having to make like the really hard decisions. I can just default that to Chris and push it over to him. So I haven't really daydreamed about like things to achieve, beyond that. If I were to be a head director, I'd love to do the Midwest thing. I think that'd be super awesome. A contender for honor band, that'd be great. But I like staying where I'm at right now. I'm very happy.
How many clinics have you given at TMEA or TBA or any other locations?
I have not given any at TMEA. TBA, I think I've given 3.
And you have one upcoming, correct?
Yes, yeah, this summer.
This summer. I don't know if this pod's going to drop before that. But what is the title of that clinic?
Oh gosh, I can't remember what the title of it is, but it's about creating a great tech culture. So, like, if your school has marching tech staff and how to educate them to be like efficient and actually make use of their time in affecting rehearsals, that's kind of what Reed and I are talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a
That
good
that's
one.
that's a good one because
Mhm.
I mean they're the feet on the ground.
Yeah.
So
Literally,
Yeah,
yeah.
quite literally.
yeah, they're able to make a lot of impact. And I've had years where like, you hire people and like you assume that they know, again, like I'm not a great communicator. I just assume that they know what I would be doing as a tech or what I expect them to be doing as a tech. But like if they've never done the job before, and they've only been a marching member, they might not know how to text. Like you have to teach them just like you teach the kids. And so this is there to help like give tools and tricks on how to create a great tech culture.
And if you've never been to a clinic given by the Kendall Santos, you are missing out because she's very efficient and very direct with her information. And there's no real second guessing what she intends to say or the information she intends to get out.
Mm-hmm.
So you are very good at the clinic thing, just FYI.
I appreciate that. That's awesome. I get really
So,
nervous.
oh, no,
Oh,
you're
you can't even
fantastic.
tell.
Yeah, no, you're
I
great.
really enjoyed the clinics that like you and Chris did last year. Those were like really, really good.
Yeah. And see, and last year you were pregnant
Hmm.
at TBA.
Yep.
And we could tell because you announced it, but you were also like, I'm out of breath because I'm pregnant. And it's just like exactly what
Yeah.
Alexa went through.
No, I can't ever breathe for whatever reason. But
You're
Yeah,
like,
it's
this
like you're
child's
you're like
kicking me
just
in the
talking.
lungs.
Yeah. You start talking, you're like, why am I tired? Like I'm not even moving.
yeah, I would get so out of breath so easily. Like just like literally, like you just said, just talking. It doesn't even take anything. Just talk.
Hmm.
So is there one performance or award that means more to you than others?
Hmm. One that was like really special was in 2015. In drum corps, there's an award called the Jim Jones Leadership Award. I've never won the actual award, but what I didn't know is that there's like a second and a third place, and I got second place in it. I always looked up to the people who had received that award. It's given to drum majors of organizations in DCI every year, and there's like a world class drum major that gets it, and then an open class as well. And whoever gets it, like I've always looked up to them and thought that they were like great people and great leaders, and so I always aspired to earn that. And so I never got it, but I did get second, and I it was cool because Gene Monticelli, the guy who I was saying was a big mentor of mine when I was in drum corps, he's kind of like he's the one that like collects all the materials for it and holds the interviews for it. And he and Jarrett Littman presented me with like the second place scholarship, which was really cool. So we were like out in the parking lot at Lucas Oil, celebrating, after finals. And they both come up to me and I just start crying. I was like, "Oh my god, it's so cool!" So that was like a really special award, but also like a special moment too.
Yeah, we all need that pat on the back, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
Well, especially like, I mean, drum corps is not for the faint of heart. Like you're on a bus for 2 months practicing 8 hours a day and blistering heat and just like you get put through the ringer in a lot of ways. And the fact that yeah, the awards are nice, but sometimes like the just the good old fashioned pat on the back and say, hey, you're doing a really fantastic job.
yeah. I have like a patch or not patch a field badge field pass from Gene that says, oh, let me find it. It's right here. It says, "Congrats on a great DCI career. You did a special job." And so like that's what he gave me when I aged out. Because it is like it's hard. It's a hard gig.
Yeah. Well, that's great because like it's not an award. It's literally your field pass.
Yeah, yeah.
That I mean, that's something very special, and the fact that you've held on to that's amazing. So, with all these things that you have done, what do you do to unwind when you're not banding?
Yeah, if I don't lift weights, I don't get unwind. That is how I unwind for sure. Is like I guess it's like ramp up instead of unwind. Like it's like the first thing I do in the morning, but that is my me time. Is like I pop in my headphones and I listen to a podcast or I will listen to music and I that is my uninterrupted time. And Zach's been great about since having Ryder, like taking care of him in the mornings so I can have that so I can be fully present with him when I'm, on mom duty or if I'm like at school. But that is that's how I do it.
And who does a writer look more like, you or Zach?
Depends on who you ask. I think from the nose down, he looks like me. Like he has a lot of round features, like a round nose and like big cheeks like me and like a round jawline, but his eyes, I think, are like Zach's color and the shape, and he has Zach's hairline for sure. But most people will say, "Oh my gosh, he looks so much like Zach." But a couple of people will say, "Oh, he's definitely you." He has a lot more of my expressions, I think.
Mm. I'm about to say you have more than two teeth.
Two teeth.
Two teeth.
Yes, yes, I do. Yeah, he is kind of like 1.5 right now, but yeah, the second one's poking through for sure.
Oh yeah, that's Drool
We
City.
just got to tooth number 2. They were kind of like coming up at the same time, but it's kind of the same thing. It was like poking up at 1.5, but we've gotten to 2 now.
So, what's something you wish you could bring back?
In terms of what?
Anything in the world. The world is your oyster.
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia.
Literally anything.
Gosh.
It could be your
Yeah, when you
favorite
asked this,
snack from your childhood. It
oh
could be an
man.
experience. It could be an amusement park.
An amusement park. Kittyland. Oh my gosh, I love Kittyland.
Something I could bring back. Nap time? Like, could we make
Ooh.
that like a daily ritual? Like, I don't know.
I'd like a good
Even
siesta.
even the twins, like in pre-K, like they don't do nap time.
They do
They
rest
do they
time.
do rest time where like they can, like, if they want to like take a nap, they can. But my kids like don't want a nap, But they don't even.
it's like
That's not even
embrace
really a
it.
thing.
Like, you need to nap. Like, you're gonna
I
miss
know, and
napping later.
they never take naps now, and they haven't for probably like a year and a half, 2 years maybe. But I can tell like one of them doesn't need one, and one of them does. Like he would do so much better if he just like took a little snooze, and he won't, he can't, he won't, and especially not if the
Have
other
you
one's not going to.
have you seen that video? It's of like two toddlers and like this girl's like losing her head, and the other boy is like, "Did you take a nap today?" She's like, "No, I
Yeah,
didn't."
yeah,
Yep,
that's how I feel
Yep.
at the end of the day
that's
too.
how I am if I don't. Yep.
Yeah. Have y'all jumped on the Bluey train yet?
No, he doesn't really watch TV yet. We've put on like Miss Rachel like one or two times maybe. Only when like I really need him to like just like sit there and be still. Like I did it once last week for like 10 minutes because like he's in his mobile phase. Like he just wants to move and roll around and like I put him in like his little chair, he's like sit me up and he'll arch his back trying to get out of it. I'm like, I really need to get the dishes done or I really need to do this laundry. And so like I put it on for like 10 minutes because I think Zach was either working or doing something and he just sat there. It was like totally glued to the TV. And then I was
Mesmerized.
like, yeah, it was unreal. I'd never seen him like watch TV before and I was like, oh no.
Miss Rachel's a
Yeah.
good one to start with.
There is an episode in Bluey where one of the characters named Muffin, spoiler alert, Muffin gets the age where she's skipping her nap.
Mhm. She's
Oh.
dropping a nap, yeah, and they like it's funny because like, she's coming over to play with Bluey and Bingo, and they're having a sleepover, I guess, and they're having to explain to Bluey and Bingo that Muffin is unhinged because she stopped taking a nap, and so they're, like, explaining, like, why, and Muffin is, like, driving around on her car, like, hitting
Like
things
a
and,
drunk
like,
driver,
yeah.
yeah. But like Bluey and
Relatable.
Bingo want to stay up later.
Uh-huh.
And the next day they're like super tired, and Muffin's like, "How's it going?"
Yeah. I called Eleanor Muffin the other day, and she was like, because Muffin is nuts.
Yeah, you should watch that episode. Like,
Really?
yeah, you should just watch that and Sleepy Time.
We've watched more Bluey than our kids have.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, they started really kind of like being into Bluey when they're like maybe 2 or so, but like mom and dad are into Bluey.
I mean, it's a good show.
My students love watching Bluey. Like when we take them back to the band hall between prelims and finals, if it's at like a local contest, we'll put Bluey on the band hall like projector, and they love watching it.
Yeah, no, it's a good show. Like it teaches you a lot of good things. You know what I wish I could bring back? The childhood experience of a juicy fruit.
Ooh, yes. Did you ever like wrap it around your finger and then try to
Oh
eat it
yeah,
that way? Yeah,
yes,
and just until it like disappeared into a sugary mess.
yeah. Juicy fruit just hit different as a child. Now that if you have it as an adult, you feel wrong.
Yeah.
But that's something I would bring. I was thinking about that the other day because I was doom scrolling in the middle of the night, like adults do, and it like showed up like a '90s nostalgia thing, and Juicy Fruit and the beeper gum was on there because I
Oh
was
yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I was all like, Juicy Fruit. The first time, like when you're like 8 to 10 years old and you have Juicy Fruit, there's just something special about it.
Oh, you know what? Okay, you said juicy fruit, and I was thinking about something else. I was thinking about fruit. I was totally thinking about fruit roll-ups. But juicy fruit, the gum, yeah. No, I'm totally with you now.
No, but same thing. I mean, I did the same thing with both of them. No, it's good stuff.
And
It's good
there was
stuff.
like there used to be like a gum. I feel like it was like zebra
Zebra,
stripes,
where, yep, five
and you could
seconds
like
in,
there's like
gone.
yeah, and then there's like tattoos like on like the bubblegum wrapper or something. Like you'd lick it and like you'd put it on. I can't remember.
Yeah, there's also the '90s was prime for like pushing that kind of stuff towards like children.
Yeah.
Like the commercials in the '90s were like unhinged. Like I don't know what happened. Like the 2000s became unhinged in their own way, but the '90s like was started it all.
I totally agree.
So if it wasn't banned, what would it have been?
The time, like in college, if I had not done band, it probably would have been psychology, and I would have gone that route to being like a therapist. But now, I think like if I were to leave teaching, I think I would be some type of trainer, like either like a personal trainer or like I'd work at a gym, because it's still like it's a type of teaching, which I still think is good and I like, and like I would like be able to scratch that itch, if you will, of teaching, but it would be like in a different field.
That'd be real fun. I could see that. As much as like you are into like the fitness stuff, I think you'd be a
Hmm.
really, really good motivator as far as like self. I'm telling you that TMA clinic it needs to happen now. I think that's what needs to happen.
Bodybuilding your band.
Yep.
Yeah.
That I mean, put a pin in it.
That's a good title.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we also hear that you have a problem with trash TV.
Oh yes.
Why do you call it a problem?
It because it is a problem.
Is this from Zach Santos?
Yes. Oh yes. But Alexa's been
Been
watching.
watching. I finished
Oh,
it.
sorry. She
America's Sweethearts.
the Cowboys cheerleader show.
Hmm. Yeah. I finished it. It was great.
I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
can't.
I saw the first
I just
season. I
can't.
haven't seen the second one yet.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Do you have a favorite trashy TV?
Excuse me. I don't think I have a favorite, but I do typically like. So, okay, first of all, let me preface this. We are in a non-subscription household except for Netflix and like Amazon Prime. So, I don't have access to like all of the true trash TV, like on like Hulu and like HBO. Like I don't have access to that, but on Netflix, like I'll watch Love is Blind or Married at First Sight, things like that. But, when I was growing up and I had cable, I used to watch like the Real Housewives of whatever city or whatever state, and those were good ones.
So what draws you to that type of television?
Just how ballistic people are. Like I just can't believe that like people are so absurd. Because I have a pretty like even keeled life. Like I'm not really crazy, probably more boring than most, and like I don't live a drama filled life, so like I guess I get my fix, by watching other people like ruin their lives on TV, like because they're just absolutely crazy. Like people are psycho out there and it's nuts just like what they'll do.
Yeah, I grew up in the age of Jerry Springer. Let me tell
Yeah.
you.
True.
Yeah.
And Maury.
Oh, Maury. I do love me some Maury.
It must be so freeing. And we could do this if we wanted to, but we watch like can you imagine like not having the subscriptions to like watch sports?
No.
I know, isn't that wild? We watch so much football in the fall. Like we don't like watch it, but it's on the
Oh, really?
TV.
It's on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on. But I can't imagine not doing that. Like, I know that we could like not have a Hulu subscription, but then it's like, how would I watch college football?
It's like
Well,
Cat
see, yeah, we
Norris
don't
and
we
U
don't
of
watch
H.
sports.
Yeah. I guess football is really the only thing that the only like sport that we keep up with.
Yeah.
We keep up with college football and NFL football. But we don't watch
Mm,
baseball. We watch college basketball on a like case by case basis.
Yeah.
Zach, like
We don't
recently
watch
this year
really anything
started
else.
watching UT football.
Mm. Well, that's fun. I mean, right now UT football's fun to watch.
Yeah.
We watch the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like
Olympics are
crazy.
big. Olympics are big in our house. Didn't we put it on? I think I put it on the band hall during that one
I
summer.
thought Corbin did last
Yeah,
summer.
we were watching it pretty consistently.
That's awesome.
Like we don't care. Like the Olympics are on, there it's going on in the band hall.
Yeah.
So, do you have any recommendations or favorite locations to eat in the greater Austin area?
Recommendations of place. Okay, so the Standard on Vaughn is my favorite place to get a steak. It's in Bertram, so it's like not even Austin. But it's pretty. It's like north, Land or Liberty Hill. It is super good. It's my favorite steak. 10 out of 10 recommend. Um, I also love whiskey cake. Whiskey cake is very good. And Jack Allen's. Jack Allen's is also delicious. Can't go wrong there.
I also like Jack Allen's.
I like Jack Allen's too.
When we did solo on ensemble, I used to take the kids to Jack Allen's.
Yeah, you stopped doing that.
Yeah, it's because the organization of it all is quite difficult.
Also, Jack Allen's, like for taking a large group of people, it's kind of expensive.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, Kendall, we have some quick fire questions for you. We're going to try and get these out as fast as we can. And I want you to try and answer them as quick as you can, okay? All right. Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus, or Ariana Grande?
Ariana Grande.
Favorite rom-com?
Oh, I don't really watch them, so The Notebook, I don't know.
The Notebooks? What? That's just more of a rom, less of the com.
Okay.
Is pineapple acceptable on pizza?
I don't like pineapple, so no.
You don't like what don't you like about pineapple?
It's a texture thing. I'm a texture eater, and I can't.
Oh. Okay, what texture can you not handle?
It's hard to describe. Like the reason I don't like pineapple is because it's like you bite into it, it's like kind of stringy, but it's like a fruit. So you know what I mean? Like and like oranges is the same. Like I cannot with oranges because like if you have to peel the outside layer, but you don't get all of like the skin or like the film off, and then you bite into it and it's like still stringy. Ugh, can't do it.
Huh. Learn something new every day. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Toilet paper over or under?
Over. Zach puts it under and it drives me nuts.
Ew.
Ew.
I know. Yeah.
Ew. Okay, Kendall, you might need to have to rethink this marriage thing.
I know.
That's the deal breaker.
That's the deal breaker.
It.
Do you have a favorite candy?
Hershey's bar. Yeah, Hershey bar.
Hershey's classic.
Or mini M&Ms.
I like the mini M&Ms.
So do I.
I don't know what it is. I think I like them more than regular M&Ms.
Yeah, it's like the packaging, it's the whole thing.
I like mini M&Ms. They're not my favorite M&Ms because my favorite M&Ms are peanut butter M&Ms. Joel likes this.
Yeah, as long as they're not Reese's Pieces, we're
peanut
okay.
butter M&Ms. I like Reese's Pieces too, but peanut butter M&Ms have the chocolate, and they're bigger than normal M&Ms.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a Harry Potter fan?
Yes.
What's your Patronus?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not like a diehard Harry Potter fan. I like the movies. I'm not like the one that like read the books and then watched the movies. I'm like, I guess like a fake fan.
That's right. It's right. You get to pick your own Patronus. What would it be?
An animal.
I don't know. I'm like on the spot. An owl. I don't know.
An owl? Ooh, that's a good one. I think
it would be an owl.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
What's your Patronus?
Mine? A bear.
Oh. What's mine?
Ooh.
I was going to say llama or pelican.
I can see the pelican for some odd reason.
Okay, we'll go with pelican.
Alexa has this infatuation with llamas
I
and
just like llamas.
alpacas.
I think they're fun animals.
I did not know that. That's awesome. You know,
Like
that's
we
like the
have,
unofficial official mascot of the 4 Points Band Hall.
No. Why is that?
because they spit
I don't
everywhere.
know. You'll have to ask Chris or Jessica.
That's funny.
Huh. Yeah, we have like llama like paintings in the house.
Just like random llama art.
Yeah. Some of our lamps are in the shape of llamas.
Yeah.
It's become a whole entire
It's
thing.
subtle.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite stand tune?
So, favorite stand tune. Give Me Some Lovin'.
Oh, that's the first time that one showed. That's a good one. Worst stand tune.
Ooh. ESPN.
Sousa, King, or Fillmore?
Fillmore.
If you had a walk-up song, what would it be?
Oh, I don't know. I'm like the worst at this because I don't listen. I'm like the worst because I don't listen to like music.
I mean, it could be band. It could be
Gosh.
bandlit if you want it. I mean, go for it, girl.
No, but I don't listen to that either. I just like listen to the radio. So it's like I don't have like a wide memory of songs to like pull from. Gosh, a walk-up song. Probably something. Okay, I don't know that I have like a song, but I'm a huge fan of like when I was growing up, like Yellow Card and like Sum 41, My Chemical Romance, like something like that, you know, from my like growing up
Was it
ages.
Fat Lip? Is it Fat Lip?
I don't know. What
What?
would
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, she thinks my tractor sexy.
Oh, really? That's not what I would have thought.
What would you have thought?
Not that.
Oh, I just think it's funny.
What do you think mine would be? Because I know
Yours?
what mine would be.
You would be My Chemical Romance. What's that stupid
You're
song?
so wrong.
What is it?
Work It by Missy Elliott.
Oh,
There you
You
go.
could not be more wrong.
about to say either that or Push It.
No,
That would be the other one for you.
absolutely not. I do like Salt and Pepper, but that's not the right Salt and Pepper song either.
What's the song?
Shoop.
Shoop. That's what it is. Sorry.
I can't believe you right now. We're done.
Alexa can
Oh, no.
sing the whole entire like Shoop. She'll have to do it off
One day
pod.
I'll do it.
The first time she did it, I was like, "Excuse me,
Yeah.
what is happening
Yeah,
right
I know
now?"
all the words to that one.
If you had a
That's
spy
awesome.
code name, what would it be?
Oh gosh, this is a good one. Spy code name. Oh, I don't know. Agent Super Traveler.
Agent Super Chat. All right. Do you have a favorite food?
Oreos.
Sweet or savory?
Sweet. But I do love savory too. But I just have a bigger sweet tooth.
What's a bad habit you'd like to break?
Oh gosh. I pick at my cuticles. Like I don't even know that I'm doing it. I really need to break it.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
To fly.
What's your favorite holiday?
My birthday. I'm just kidding. Halloween.
Hey, that's a holiday. That could be your holiday. I get. Well, in that turn, if you could invent a holiday, what would you celebrate?
Kendall Santos Day.
Yes. I love that. A day
Okay,
all
what
about
date
me.
would it be?
August 23rd.
On her birthday. Yeah.
That's what you need to tell your band kids.
I do.
Today's Kendall
So
Santos.
at the top of our lesson plans, I'll do like a countdown of like, you know, X amount of days till BOA Austin, X amount of days till UIL State, whatever. And then like if it's my birthday, I'll put like X amount of days till Santos's birthday. So they know. They know when to bring me
Yeah, but-
gifts and French fries.
There we go.
Do you have a favorite season, weather-wise?
Fall.
Do you have a favorite ice cream flavor?
Bluebell cookie two-step.
That's a solid one. If you could have any one animal, real or fictional, as a pet, which one would it be?
An elephant.
You know, elephants don't get enough credit.
They don't.
I freaking love
really don't.
elephants. They're so strong. The matriarch like runs the whole thing. It's like it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kendall, here's my last question. Okay. So, is there a Dairy Queen near where you live?
Yes.
Okay. What is your Dairy Queen order?
I don't go there often, but I do get their cheese curds because I love fried cheese. And I used to have cheese curds all the time when I lived in Minneapolis. But then I'll also get their the Oreo blast or cookies and cream blast. Blizzards are not last.
Solid answer.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So cheese. So you're a cheese girl.
I can't get enough cheese. I love cheese. Fried cheese, cheese on
Okay.
my burger. Yeah.
So for was it your birthday or for Christmas?
It was for Christmas.
It was for Christmas. I got Alexa this huge sampling of Wisconsin cheese called the Cheese Bros.
It was
That
like a
sounds
cheese
amazing.
box.
Yeah, it was like how much? I mean, how much cheese was it?
No, it was like maybe like
It was like 2 pounds worth of cheese.
I think it was like
Wow.
6 different.
Our special guest is really enthralled with cheese.
I think it was like 6 different types of cheese.
Yeah, but it was like 2 pounds worth.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very good. I
Wow.
just finished it. It took me a little while because
Yeah.
I like rationed it.
Yeah, I'll send you a link to their website. But
I
it's
thought you were saying you were going to
Please
send me more
do.
cheese.
but it was pretty tasty. Like it was really good. I highly encourage that. So
I love that.
I think that's all I have.
That's all I have too.
Kendall, do you have any departing knowledge for the void?
No, this is great. Thanks for having me on.
If anyone ever has the opportunity to go to a Kendall Santos clinic, you should go because they're always very good. But other than that,
Thank you.
thanks for listening to Band Yap. We'll see you next time. Bye.
We out.